Hello everyone and welcome to Bloggrana Everything and welcome back to the channel. And well, obviously today we kind of held back by an extra day before doing this upload, and this for obvious reasons, right? It's because on the 19th of July, which was Sunday, yesterday, the time of recording this, a certain World Cup final was going down, and that World Cup final happened to involve, two of Barcelona's greatest, products coming out of La Masia. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal, and obviously, there was no way I was going to be out there pushing an upload whilst, the game is being played. That would have been crazy, especially since this kind of was, a big kind of event. If you're, if you're La Masia FC, if you're FC Barcelona, and then of course Barcelona did put out their, their props. Shouts out to Barca for doing that, but shout out as well to this man, of course, Mr. Lionel Messi. I mean, the tournament that he had, to be honest, ridiculous. Up until this tournament, I will honestly say that I did have my reservations still about calling him the goat of this football thing. But at this point now, I am absolutely not in doubt in any way, shape, or form. He is definitely deserving of that title. He's just the level that he's showing at 39, you know, against your Premier League caliber players, the much voted, so hyped Premier League. And the things that he was still able to do, even up against those guys and up against so many other guys. And I mean, of course, haters are going to hate and they'll say what they want to. But for me, that was just, awesome to see. Unfortunately for him, of course, he didn't win the World Cup this time around. That is because we had a whole, just a gaggle. I guess is that what they call it? We had a gang of FC Barcelona players who were on the winning end with this final. And in addition to that, we did also get the winning goal being scored by an FC Barcelona player. None other than, of course, the man of the moment. Where is he? There he is. Man of the match from the final, Mr. Ferran Torres. I mean, listen to me. If you told me before this tournament started that the man of the match in the World Cup final was going to be Ferran Torres, I would have thought you were joking. But he was. And honestly speaking, one of his better performances coming off of the bench. And I mean, finally, it's crazy, to be honest, how the kind of clutch that Ferran Torres has been for Spain at this World Cup, that, this just ended World Cup. First of all, his first goal contribution was an assist against Portugal. And that's the assist, basically, that knocked out Cristiano Ronaldo. Then his next goal contribution is the winning goal in the World Cup final. The goal that, of course, defeats Lionel Messi and Argentina, who, against so many odds, we could put it that way, found themselves in the final. And I mean, I was watching a video that was talking about, predicting the next World Cup winner, and from the criteria that was given, which, by the way, the prediction came correct. It was about a month ago. Dude said Spain would win right after Spain drew with Cape Verde. So, it's like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. But, I did notice that in that video, he gave like a list of 5 things to look out for. And like 3 of those things didn't match with Argentina. So like Argentina really had no business going as far as they did in this tournament. But they only went that far because of, who? Because of this guy right here. Not that guy. This guy here. Who's like on the brink of tears after getting that loss. Of course, like you say, haters are going to hate, but at the end of the day, I'm saying the GOAT is the GOAT. So, what's next for Barcelona now? We've got all these guys who won a World Cup. You've got Pau Cubarsí, who, just how well has my previous upload aged, okay? Just in the previous upload, I was giving this young man his flowers. All right. I was talking about the fact that he is not getting enough credit for what he has done at the World Cup. And look, he just went ahead and he ran back another clean sheet in the final. So, once again, full credit Pau Barsi. He's him as far as defenders are concerned, if you ask me. Then of course we saw Eric Garcia as well getting a cameo in the final, never making an appearance up until the final. So, everybody really except Joan Garcia got to contribute in some way, shape, or form. We saw Gavi against Cape Verde. So, it was pretty much everybody, all hands on deck. Now, of course, people are talking about this is most likely to happen next. And I mean, like, hey, I'm not going to say I don't mind it happening or I don't want it to happen. But, I guess, why not? I mean, why not? For looking at the regular season, he was the best player on the planet. I mean, sure, you could throw in maybe a Michael Olise. I wouldn't hold it against you if you had other people, but he was right up there with them as well. And the fact now that at 19 years old, he's won both the World Cup and the Euros, and I mean, he only missed out on the, what do you call it again? The Nations League. He only missed out on the Nations League because he was too young to play for Spain. He was 15 when Spain won the Nations League. But, by comparison, of course, you do have somebody like Pedri or like Gavi who they've won all a lot. You got the World Cup, they've got the Euro, they've got the Nations League. And to think 19 years ago, this is where we were at. To go from this to this to that. Y'all don't understand just how crazy that is. And again, y'all don't understand just how crazy it is that this guy picked up the award for the best young player at this World Cup. So look, this point, this is just a victory lap. All right. This is a victory lap. We're just here to appreciate all the good work that Pau Barsi, that Lamine Yamal, that Pedri, Ferran Torres, Eric Garcia, Gavi, Joan Garcia, all these guys, all the good work that they did. And I mean, this is this is something else though. I don't know if, wait, hold on a second. Let me put this in the middle. There we go. The fact that, all in a row, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, they all fell prey to this young man right here, Pau Barsi, keeping all of them quiet. Who would have thunk it? That's really what this entire World Cup journey has been for Spain, hasn't it? It's just a question of, who would have thunk it? Who would have thought Ferran Torres in the final, off the bench, scoring the winner? Who would have thought? And, well-deserved man of the match for him. Now, as per my previous upload, we do know that PSG are interested in his services. So, I mean, hey, this couldn't hurt Barcelona's, this couldn't hurt Barcelona's case for getting a bit more money out of the deal, right? I mean, this is the situation right now. Maybe we could get like 100 bags for Ferran Torres. I mean, look, if they could sell Gonzalo Ramos, who just basically did nothing except for scoring the winner against Croatia in this World Cup, and they can get 85 million for him, then hey, why can we not get something like that for Ferran Torres, who is playing more football, scoring more goals, getting more girls than than Gonzalo Ramos? I mean, it's just a fact. You could ask them. But hey, at the end of the day, respect where it's due. We finally got to see the finalissima that we wanted. Of course, it wasn't anywhere near the level of competition that we would have hoped for, But hey, sometimes you just have to take what you get. Maybe if there wasn't a freaking war that was started by a certain Donald Trump, we would have gotten the actual Finalissima, which would have been played in Saudi Arabia, because, that's where everybody goes now, because everybody wants Arab oil money. That's just what happens now. Anyway, that's just about that. I think I've yapped enough, it's time to start thinking about the rest of the season that's about to come ahead for FC Barcelona. So even as we look back at what was honestly a pretty memorable World Cup with some, vintage play from a GOAT and, what is probably the passing on of the torch. We did see Lamine coming out in interviews and saying that, Messi did tell him, like, hey, it's up to you and your generation, It's up to him and guys like this guy right here. Look how young he looks. Anyway, that's basically that for me. Let me know your thoughts. Aside from that, I thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day and Forza Barca.